The Blueprint was an absolutely incredible book that is reminiscent of The Handmaid's Tale and The Parable of the Sower. The Blueprint asks us to imagine a dystopian future in which a second civil war takes place in America. There is an oppressive government structure that forces women, particularly women of color, into a lottery system that assigns them to these relationships with men. It's not in a marriage sense. Usually, it is mostly for whatever the male wants, whether that could be childbearing or merely just a sex object. The one spot of hope that this society has for women is that Louisiana is a free state, not under the rule of this empire. And therefore, if women are lucky enough to escape the control of the men and the empire, or if they're super lucky and the man that they're assigned to decides to sign her papers and emancipate her, she can run to Louisiana to be a free woman. This book also has two timelines. We follow Celine as she was as a child, as she was not fully understanding of the certain ways that she was being oppressed. She thought there was a way to game the system, to win the system. If someone important enough chose her, she would have a very soft, comfortable life, and that would be akin to freedom. And the other timeline is her current self, as she is running from said life that she thought was going to make her happier, akin to this freedom, and just reliving the struggle of that while also still trying to get out of this man's power and control. Throughout both, she talks about her ancestor who was brought over in slave trade and forced to be a concubine of her slave master, and the forced birth she had to give. And you see some of the parallels between her ancestor stories and Celine herself. This book was incredibly good, and the ending is not one that, necessarily left me happy. It was kind of a tale fitting of the story we were told. Um, Very good, I think. The different timelines really strengthen this, getting to connect with the past and this future that we've built upon between our society continually leaning farther and farther into the right and stripping away the rights of women. With the fall of like Roe and things like that, you can see how we can easily fall back in to this pattern and this system that existed prior to Roe and what enslaved women would have gone through, and just how easily this oppressive society wants to go back to this because it's another way to control, and how they use that, and how they try to frame it as something that is good for the women or for the women's safety. Um, Truly an excellent book that really tackled its themes well. It is heavy, but because of this, I really do recommend the audiobook. I really enjoyed it. The narrator was fantastic. Um, and just, I definitely think this is a must read for everybody.